Atamari e koutou. Ko te timata me mihi katika. Kia koutou ko whai mai ki te tautoko. Ka nui te aroha ki taku ngākau kia koutou. Nō reira, ko tēnei te mihi kia koutou. Ngā mihi nui kia koutou. I guess I wanted to start by saying thank you to all of you who are supporting. You know, the support has been overwhelming. You know, it's been so many people messaging me and saying nice things and commenting. You know, I really appreciate it. And you know, I'm not someone who generally you know, reaches out to people in any way. But to think that, you know, there's, you know, so much support on LinkedIn of all places has really been amazing. And so, you know, I want to acknowledge that and thank you all, and please keep supporting me, you know, tautoko mai. Yeah, hopefully, you know, this vlog's going to be interesting, maybe informative. It's definitely not going to be bland. I'm telling you, it's going to be interesting. So today I want to answer a question that lots of people have been asking me in the last couple of days, and the question is, what's the business you're going to start? Now the short answer is I don't know yet, and that's the honest truth. I have some ideas, but I don't really know what that business is yet. The long answer though, which I think is more interesting, is more about, well, how do I decide what am I going to do? You know, how am I going to decide the business? So in this case, I mean, I think there's a number of ways that you start a business. You have an idea, you whatever, you start from zero, but in this case, I don't have a business per se, or I have sort of half an idea, I guess. But what I do is I have someone who I want to work with and who wants to work with me. And so I met a person not that long ago, you know, like a couple of months ago now, and we hit it off in the first 30 minutes. You know, I was like immediately thinking, oh, this is someone I could work with really easily. And the reason is that their values were similar to mine. You know, so, you know, if you're going to build a business, you want to have the similar values as that person. You know, if I was going to build a racketeer, a criminal organization, if that was the plan, then the person I work with, the business partner perhaps, would need to be willing to be a criminal, be willing to do illegal behavior. You know, like if they're not comfortable with violence, perhaps they're probably not a great business partner fit for me. In this case, it's actually the very opposite, you know, because I have very strong values around my personal integrity, how I treat people, and so yeah, I can't work with someone who's not going to have similar values as that. And yeah, this person's definitely shown that he has those values, and so I'm keen to do something with him, but he's also keen to do something with me. So, you know, that's the starting point I'm at. That's the starting point I'm at. Now he already has a business. It's successful, but there is some things sort of around it, and where there are opportunities. So, I guess in this case, I've got someone I want to work with who's already got market expertise. So that's key, you know, because when you're starting a business, you're going to need to know the market. Now, to know the market, either you've been in it, you're employed in it, you know, you've had some experience in it, or you partner with someone who does. So, there's a lot of benefits for me to be connecting with this person. Now, the next thing that generally when I'm working with someone else, either if I'm partnering or employing or doing something, it's generally I want someone who's got skills that are complementary to my own, because I know I have weaknesses, and so I need to fill those weaknesses as early as possible in the business sort of progress. So I think this person brings complementary skills as well, which is good, and so that makes it a good choice. Now, the next, I guess, even usually before I think about people, the thing I'm thinking about is market, size of the market, opportunity in the market. I'm usually thinking about those things, but in this case, I don't need to as much, because this person's already told me there is an opportunity here. We could do something in this space to take advantage of it. So it means even though I'm looking and I do know the market a little, I don't have to be as rigorous perhaps as I normally would if I was by myself without a partner. So that's the next thing. I guess the third thing I'm always thinking about too is I am thinking, and a friend of mine, Jeremy, you may be watching, said to me many years ago, work out how you're going to exit when you start. And that has been something I've done ever since. It was great advice, thank you. And so my thinking now, firstly, is like, okay, how am I going to exit? When am I going to exit? And the how, often there aren't many ways that you're going to exit a business. It's I'm going to sell it, I'm going to close it down, I'm going to pass it on to my children, perhaps I'm going to IPO. There are different ways, but generally for a small business, and in the case of this one, it would be probably selling it. Now, is there a target to sell it to? Yes, there is. So I'm not going to really worried about that. But what I do when I'm thinking about how do I exit, is that I'm thinking about my strategy in building the business. So I want to build value into the company. So all the value is built into the company as opposed to, say, not in the company. And then I also want to start from the outset and positioning it in a way that it can be sold. So yeah, I'm thinking that as well. And then I guess the last thing to talk about around, how do I decide how to build a business, is around money. So for in different situations, how you finance it can vary. So I guess one way is to raise some money from investors who then gives you time to build it. Another way, which is the way I prefer, and I've done a number of ways, the bootstrap. Now, bootstrapping relies on generating revenue from day one. So I'm not going to get paid unless I'm making sales straight away. Now that's tricky when you don't really know what you're selling yet, don't have something to sell per se. So what I do in these situations is I start selling things I've sold in the past. I know that I'm going to have to make some money soon, and it's not soon, I mean immediately. I need to generate a certain base salary, we'll say, for myself, enough for me to survive. And so what I do in those cases, I go back to selling something I know how to sell and can sell relatively easily. And so most of you probably know I have this company called Swift Social. We do social media marketing for small businesses, have done so for a number of years. In the past, we were a little bigger, I had some staff, And then when I joined Timely, it was such a good opportunity at Timely, and thank you, Ryan, if you're watching, that I was like, okay, I'm going to just wind down Swift Social. And so slowly over about 6 months, we reduced our clients, and then slowly I had one staff member leave, and then I had to let go the last staff member, and then I had it came right down to I had 2 clients, and they were one was only small, and so I said, oh look, we're going to just finish up with you, and they were really sad about us not doing work for them, and then the final client was kind of too good so the final client is the Otago Chamber of Commerce. So we've been doing social media training for their members for 5 years now, and every year it might be some workshops. It might be 4 workshops a year. Other years it might be 10. And they generally, each workshop or the group of workshops may generate 1 or 2 jobs out of them with the people who attend. So they were too kind of valuable to let go. So for a few years I've done that stuff on the side. Obviously not trying to grow it or anything. But so now I've gone, okay, I'm going to go back to selling that stuff. I know how to sell that stuff and get some income going while I work on this other business. And so yesterday, I started reaching out to people who I knew may need our services. And today I'm off doing, like I say, training for the Chamber of Commerce in Central Otago. Now, something that came up actually. So I guess that's the that is the I guess how I'm deciding and what I'm doing and building my business. I have to survive, so I'm making some money. But something came up the other day, which it made me feel good. So I thought I'd share it. So the Chamber of Commerce, they evaluate all the workshops that they have. They have lots and lots, leadership workshops, all sorts of stuff. They do a heap. But Mike Idor, the guy there at the chamber, he said to me, "Oh, Ruben, your workshop is the highest rated workshop of all our workshops." And I had never heard that before. And I said, yeah, it's been so good. And some of the comments are so amazing that we've included them in our annual report. And it just made me feel really good, and it also reinforces this idea that, for me anyway, if you provide good service, if you are have integrity, sales will come itself. And so word of mouth for me is strong, and so I have no doubt that once and even probably this video alone, once I get my word out there that I'm, going to be doing a bit more social media marketing for companies, digital marketing, I'll fill up what I need to, I'll get the number of clients I need so that I can, support myself while I work on this other business. So I'm feeling confident about that. And a little plug, if anyone out there is needing social media, digital marketing, funnel creation, online funnel stuff, please hit me up and I'll give you a call, see what we can do for you. I should probably get back to concentrating on my driving. So once again, thank you for your support. I appreciate you watching this, appreciate you spending your time listening. If there's anything you find you'd like to know, please comment in the comments below, or you can direct message me on LinkedIn or on Twitter or Facebook if you want, and I'll try and answer the questions you have. So kia pai tō koutou rā.